All right, listen up, fam. This high school is basically a training camp for future criminals. We're talking sleeping in class, brawling the hallways, even the teachers are too scared to step in. Isn't this place a total nightmare for studying? But get a load of our boy. He looks like a total nerd with those glasses, but he's actually a top-tier fighter who settles arguments with his fists. And his ultimate goal for being here? To get into college. Meanwhile, over in the gym, things are getting seriously intense. This absolute unit of a guy throws down a challenge. If you can push me even an inch, your dad gets his job back. Talk about high stakes. The kid's entire family livelihood is on the line. But our new boy is clearly outmatched. His friends know it, pointing out that his technique is useless in a real fight. With his father's job hanging in the balance, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The big guy's not even taking him seriously, just casually telling him, "You go first." But look at the fire in our boy's eyes. He's channeling all that pressure into pure, unadulterated determination. Let's go. And just when you think it's about to go down, a wild coach appears. Our red-headed friend steps in with his unique training methods. He's going on about the essence of the front punch, but our student isn't buying it, thinking he'd learn more from a YouTube tutorial. The sass is real. Redhead gets all technical, breaking down the anatomy of a perfect fist, talking about metacarpals and the radius bone. Our boy is sweating bullets from the information overload, but after trying it, he's like, "Wait, I think I feel stronger?" He's so confused, asking, "Am I a boxer now?" Not yet, kid." The training goes on through the night. Our new coach is relentless, teaching him everything from a horse stance to rotating the waist for power. He's a bit of a weirdo, but you can't deny he knows his stuff. And when he finally hits the sandbag, POW, the sound itself makes the coach do a double take. He's shocked. There's something special about this kid. He can feel it. So of course, the training montage kicks in high gear. Again and again. The coach is pushing him to his absolute limit, the sound of fists hitting the bag echoing through the night. He keeps at it, repeating the same fundamental motion over and over. This is how you build a foundation, drilling the basics until they become muscle memory. And then it clicks. That aha moment. He finally understands the physics behind the punch and gets all excited. But the coach is just annoyed, like, "Can you stop touching me?" This guy is hilarious. Time for a quick anatomy lesson. It turns out our boy isn't just working hard, he's genetically gifted. He's got a naturally thick and dense ulna bone, which means his punches have a stronger foundation. He was literally born for this. Back in the present, the bully is still running his mouth, calling him a loser. Oh, he has no idea what's coming. Our boy is pissed, and he's about to unleash everything he's learned. And there it is. Payback. A perfect front punch connects right on the money. The narrator nails it. Was a loser with a hidden power. The shock on everyone's faces is absolutely priceless. The big guy is stunned. He totally underestimated him. But this ain't over yet. He shakes it off and roars, "It's my turn. Here we go." The fight gets brutal, and our boy gets sent flying with a massive kick. But the crowd's reaction says it all. Looking at the guy who just landed the hit, they're all thinking the same thing. He's a beast. Surprisingly, the muscular dude is actually impressed, saying, "That was pretty great." But the peace doesn't last. Some blonde guy jumps in, grabbing her student by the collar. Things are escalating fast. Turns out the blonde dude is the big guy's dad, and he is not happy. "It's too late to play father now," he screams. Man, this just turned into a whole family drama. And watching all this unfold is our main protagonist, Gammon. This whole scene is hitting way too close to home, dredging up all the painful memories of his own family struggles. You can see the anger and helplessness boiling over. He's torn. Gammon wants to cut ties with his past, but feels too guilty. He pumps himself up, ready to try again, only to immediately slip and fall flat on his face. A perfect moment of comedic relief to break the tension. Classic Gammon. Back to the fight, the muscular guy gives him his props. "That front punch was great," he admits. "I thought your head was your only weapon." Respect. And now, the final test. He gets back into position, and the big guy tells him, "Please don't disappoint me this time." This is it, the moment of truth. The onlookers are completely baffled. The construction workers are like, "Wait, are they fighting?" They just don't get the sheer gravity of this manly showdown. And then, the plot twist you never saw coming. The muscular dude just bursts out laughing. Apparently, this whole thing was mom's basic tactic first move, the front punch. It wasn't a fight, it was a lesson. After that bizarre trial, our boy stands tall, a new fire in his eyes. He didn't just save his dad's job. He found a strength he never knew he had. And all of this reminds Gammon of his own past. We flash back to when he was just 7, his uncle sneaking him into a Taekwondo Pumsi championship, terrified of being caught by Gammon's mom. See, his mom was dead set against him learning Taekwondo, fearing he'd just grow up picking fights. But his uncle knew he had a gift, and he just had to show him the beauty of the art. As they watch his mom compete, his uncle explains that Pomsi isn't just a dance like other kids think. It's the very foundation of Taekwondo, the culmination of all its basic skills. His uncle drops some serious wisdom on him. Life is all about the basics. When you're facing a challenge, you have to return to your foundation. Those words stuck with Gammon forever. While his mom is giving a life lesson on the mat, little Gammon is just laser focused on one thing: solid basics. His uncle can't help but laugh. The kid gets it. But flashing forward to the present, the same uncle who taught him the importance of basics is now screaming at him, "You mustn't do Taekwondo." What the hell happened? But Gammon's not a little kid anymore. He answers his uncle not with words, but with a devastatingly powerful axe kick that shakes the very ground. Everyone watching is completely floored. Jaws are on the ground. His power level is off the charts. His opponent doesn't stand chance. Gammon unleashes a brutal combination, and the guy can't do anything but take the hits. Look at him go. Gammon is a whirlwind of destruction, his presence completely dominating the fight. The nerd with glasses has become the king of the schoolyard. One punch sends a guy flying a solid 30 feet, and Gammon is actually a little disappointed in himself, thinking he held back too much. What a flex. With the fight won, Gammon makes good on his promise. The White League gang is leaving the school for good. But the teacher starts to panic, thinking this is all a bit too extreme. But little does the teacher know, this is all part of a bigger plan. Gammon's been tasked with ensuring a guy named Hamill graduates safely because the student council is plotting against him. And we get a glimpse into just how deep the rabbit hole goes at this school. It's a cesspool of gangs and violence, with a history of brutal fights. And now, with the White Lead gang out of the picture, a new kingpin, the white-haired Hamill Pie, declares a new era. This is his school now. He gives the signal, and his crew, who are hiding in the wings, all come back. The whole squad is assembled. They're definitely planning something big. And let's meet the crew. We've got Mugia Choi and Sung Hong, the core power of the group. And judging by their little interaction, they're more than just business partners. The chemistry is real. Next up is Jae Hwang Chu, a real tough nut who was suspended for assaulting a teacher. He's back now, and he's clearly got a score to settle. This kid is bad news. The whole school is buzzing with rumors about Hamill Pie and the upcoming student council meeting. Everyone knows something big is about to go down. A storm is brewing, and our study group is caught right in the middle of it. All they want to do is hit the books, but in this school, even that simple dream is a constant battle. Meanwhile, Hamill is gathering his forces. He needs all the help he can get to pull off his plan at the student council meeting. It's time to shake things up. Just then, Ms. Hankyung Lee gets a text that completely rattles her. Look at her face. What could she have possibly seen to get a reaction like that? The message was a threat, plain and simple. If she doesn't protect the people she cares about, she'll lose them. The pressure is on, and Ms. Lee is starting to feel the heat. And just as she's processing this, she gets a literal squeeze on the shoulder. She turns to see the woman who put her in the hospital, smiling that creepy, unsettling smile of hers. This woman is completely unhinged. She casually apologizes for breaking her shoulder before, then invites her for a ride. We see a flashback to the brutal baseball bat attack. Yeah, this lady is pure evil. Forced into a meeting with this monster, Ms. Lee is visibly terrified. She's so nervous, she can barely sit straight. You can't blame her. But the tension is broken when another teacher arrives. It's an emotional reunion, and they just hug it out, finding comfort in each other. In a place like this, they're all they've got. The new teacher suggests Gammon should transfer, but Ms. Lee insists that he loves this school. And as we see Gammon staring up at the school building, it's clear she's right. This is his battlefield. The new teacher confesses her despair. She wanted to be just like Ms. Younghwa, but after Jeonghwa's death, she feels like her dream is pointless. Ms. Younghwa was the one person who truly believed in this school and fought to make it better. Her death left a hole in everyone's hearts. But Ms. Lee won't let her give up. She encourages her to carry on Jeonghwa's legacy, reminding her of the very words Younghwa used to say, "You can do it." Inspired, she returns to Yusung High as a teacher, determined to help build the future that Ms. Younghwa envisioned. Meanwhile, the study group is planning something big, and they need their teacher's help. But the serious mood is interrupted by a bizarre phone call from a realtor. The news is shocking. The rent on their place has skyrocketed by $500,000 in just 1 month. Everyone is stunned. This can't be a coincidence. Someone is definitely pulling the strings. Back at school, Gammon pushes up his glasses, a dangerous look in his eyes. As one student puts it, he looks like a bad guy, but bad in a confusing way. He's ready to make his move. The guy Gammon beat up earlier actually kept his promise and left. And Sahayan, the kid who was about to give up on his studies for his family, can finally thank his friends and get back to his dream. But there's still conflict at home. Sahayan's dad wants him to learn a trade instead of wasting time studying, leading to another confrontation between father and son. But his friends have his back. Even his rival agrees to give him a 1-month grace period, impressed by his sheer willpower. This is what true rivalry is all about. With final exams just around the corner, Gammon gets ambushed on the street. In a panic, he fumbles through his bag and pulls out his final exam notes. Even in a fight, our boy's priorities are straight. He's a student first. Right before the final exam, Gammon gets called out by the student council president. You know what that means? It's time for a showdown. Turns out the president is the older brother of another gang member. Gammon brings up how the younger brother betrayed him. And BM, he hits a nerve. The tension explodes. This president, Sivan Chun, is also an idol trainee. His manager is frantically searching for him, worried he'll get hurt and ruin his debut. But Sivan snaps, furious at being called his brother's keeper, screaming, "Don't you dare call me his brother." Gammon keeps poking the bear, reminding Sivan of how much he used to love his little brother. The betrayal cut him deep, and he can't stand to even think about it. He was supposed to be the big brother, the one his younger sibling looked up to. Now, that memory is just a source of pain. He loses it and screams at Gammon to shut up. And just as things get personal, Hamill's goons show up and jump Gammon. These guys really have no honor, do they? Leading the charge is Mugia Choi, back from suspension. He kicks a guy aside and sneers. This school has really gone to the dogs while I was away. Then Hamill himself appears, taunting Sivan and telling him he's nothing compared to the former president. Before Sivan can even react, Mugia lands a solid punch. It turns out the former student council president, Jujin Kim, is the one pulling the strings. He's using Hamill to stir up trouble and regain control. And at the heart of this conspiracy is the murder of Ms. Younghwa Oh. She was killed for pushing for the student council meeting, and her death set all these dark events in motion. Now, Ms. Hankyong Lee is trying to continue Jungwa's work, but in doing so, she's painted a massive target on her back. Meanwhile, Hamill's other lackeys join the fray, and the scene descends into total chaos. In a strange twist of fate, Gammon and Sivan, who were just about to fight each other, are now forced to team up against Hamill's crew. A couple of nobodies are watching from behind a tree, impressed by Sivan's strength. Little do they know, the real show is just about to start. Sivan finds himself locked in a tough fight with Mugiu, whose speed and relentless attacks are proving difficult to handle. Mugiu mocks his fighting style, calling them silly moves from Chinatown. Sivan furiously retorts that it's legitimate martial arts. He unleashes a powerful roundhouse kick that even takes Mugiu by surprise. This idol trainee has some serious skills. But Mugiu is no slouch either, revealing that he also knows Taekwondo. Shouting, "Let's get this over with," he launches into an even more ferocious assault. Turns out his style is a hybrid martial art, mixing strikes with jujitsu. He catches Sivan off guard and locks him in a painful armbar. Hamill uses this opportunity to threaten him. Retract his agreement for the student council meeting, or they'll break his arm. For a trainee on the verge of debuting, that's a career-ending injury. His manager's warnings echo in his head. Sivan is trapped in an impossible choice: his future career or his pride as a big brother. Hamill is telling him to betray Ms. Lee, the very person who helped him, just to save his own skin. He's asking him to stab his savior in the back, and Sivan just can't do it. As Hamill prepares to break his arm, the losers behind the tree are getting excited. He's gonna break it, they cheer. What a bunch of vultures. But just as his arm is about to snap, a figure appears in the distance. And it's none other than the former president, Jujin Kim. What's he doing here? We see that Jujin himself has faced these kinds of impossible choices before, getting stabbed to protect others. He knows that despite what people say, some people really can change. And the person who changed him, the person who proves that people can change for the better, is our boy, Gammon. And he has arrived. Like a bolt from the blue, Gammon swoops in, taking down Hamill and saving Sivan in one swift move. That protagonist energy is just radiating off him. Hamill's crew is in total disbelief. Their boss just got taken down in a single hit. Gammon, breathing heavily, glares at them with pure killer instinct. Even Sivan is stunned, asking, "What the hell was that?" Gammon's only reply, "Asshole." Cold as ice. Jujin knows he's no match for Gammon. He confesses he never thought he could win. He just wanted to do something, anything, to avenge Ms. Younghwa and protect Ms. Lee. He suspected Hamill and his crew were responsible for Ms. Junghwa's death, and he was hoping that putting them in the hospital might just make him feel a little less crappy about it all. He felt like he owed her so much. This crushing guilt has been driving him this whole time. And so, the battle reignites. Gammon and Jujin team up against Hanwol and his forces in an all-out brawl. It's a brutal, knockdown, drag-out fight, with both sides trading heavy blows. With the former student council president on their side, the tide of the battle slowly begins to turn. Gammon unleashes a punch so fast it's just a blur, sending his opponent flying. His speed and power are on a whole other level. Mugiyu unleashes his ultimate move, the Killer Wave, but all Gammon can think about is, "Ah-sung's gonna kill me. I shouldn't get caught." Bro, you might want to focus on the killer punch coming your way. Meanwhile, in a completely different part of the school, another conflict is brewing in the girls' bathroom. Seems like there's no safe place at Yusung High. Hanwol's direct relative, Ah-sung Hong, runs into an old rival. We see a flashback to a previous, violent confrontation between them over a bullying incident. The bully is completely unrepentant and tries to start another fight. A war between these two girls is about to erupt. But Ah-sung steps in, blocking her path with a look that could kill. She's not one to be messed with. Back with the boys, Gammon is still in the thick of it, but his friends know Hanwol will definitely try to pull some dirty trick. Finally, the day after the final exams. The class president congratulates everyone, and the mood is celebratory. But while some are cheering, our boy is not looking so hot. Just look at him. Gammon is literally trembling with nervousness. For all his fighting prowess, it's the final exam results that truly terrify him. You gotta love the duality of this guy. The night is dark, and a secret meeting is going down. Someone's gathering the troops. Is everyone here? Then let's get going. You just know something big is about to happen. But before we get into that, let's cut back to the daytime at Yusung High. And just as we left off, the final exams are officially over. The class president is all smiles, congratulating everyone. But while the whole class is celebrating, look at our boy Gammon. He's literally shaking in his boots. The whole school knows Gammon's post-exam ritual. People are literally running for cover, telling everyone not to touch him in his fragile state. He's the worst, they say. But then, Gammon overhears something that makes his heart stop. 50% of the answers matched. Wait, what? Really? Gammon's answers match Sahayan's, the real answers? And the news spreads like wildfire. Gammon got 50% on the exam. The entire study group is losing their minds. Look at their faces, pure shock and joy. Our boy did it. Our boy, ever so humble, tries to downplay it. I just got lucky. But his friend immediately calls BS. Lucky my ass. This guy's been studying his butt off. He's not just lucky, he's been putting in the work. The praise keeps coming. They're calling him the protagonist with room to grow. And look at Han-kyung. She's so proud of him. It's a sweet moment for the study group. As they wrap up for the day, everyone's feeling good. But just as things seem peaceful, a mysterious figure watches them from a distance. The blinds snap shut. Someone's hiding. And the phrase "finals are over" suddenly sound a lot more ominous. The calm is definitely not going to last. And just like that, the study group calls an emergency meeting. We flash back to before the exam, where everyone was worried. They even asked Gammon why he looked so concerned, and he just brushed it off. Clearly, something bigger was on his mind. Just as they're trying to figure things out, Sivan stumbles in, all beaten up. "I barely got away," he gasps. He ran all the way here because he has something urgent to tell them. The mood just went from 0 to 100 real quick. And here's the bombshell. Listen carefully, Gammon, unless you want to lose your teacher like I did. Then it's laid bare. Hanwol killed a teacher who tried to hold a student council meeting. This guy is a straight-up monster. The crew is furious. They can't believe it. But it all starts to make sense. The Whitehead gang gets benefits by creating chaos, just like they did with the last teacher. The stakes are higher than ever, and now they're wondering if they should even involve the detective. There's a lot of mistrust in the air. The detective can't be trusted, but they can't tell Gammon that. Meanwhile, Jaiwoo is pissed at Gammon, thinking he's being naive. "I thought you got smarter," she yells. The tension within the group is palpable. Turns out, there's already a plan in motion. They've been watching their enemies, weighing the risks of involving the police. But June pipes up, "What plan?" Looks like not everyone, especially Gammon, was in on it. They start connecting the dots. The last teacher went missing right before a meeting, and Hanwol was arrested, but the teacher was already dead. They realize his plan. He's going to strike on the day of the student meeting to give the school no time to react. The clock is ticking. And to make matters worse, Hanwol isn't alone. Two absolute monsters from Seoul, the guys who took out Sivan, are back. They got transferred here as a punishment and became Hanwol's closest cronies. The enemy just got a major power-up. The intel keeps pouring in. They're talking about a guy named Jae Hwang Chu, someone with dreadlocks who's always with Hanwol. The bad guys are assembling, and our crew is trying to catch up. This whole operation, this crazy plan, it's all for their teacher, Ms. Lee. We see flashbacks of everything she's done for them, how hard she's fought to make the school better. They're not just fighting a villain, they're fighting to protect her. And with that resolve, the group comes together. Gammon steps up, and you can see the determination on everyone's faces. He declares it's our time to make them dead meat. And with that, the training arc begins. They decide to train separately, each in their own way, counting down the days to the big confrontation. The hype is real. The days tick by. D13, Gammon's practicing his kicks. D9, he's heading into Chinatown, probably to train with the master. D7, He1 is burning the midnight oil, gathering intel. Everyone is working their hardest for the showdown. D2, summer break officially starts, but for them, there's no rest. Then, on dawn, the night before the meeting, they gather at Central Park. The same scene from the beginning. Is everyone here? Then let's get going. They found Hanwol's stronghold. They get word that Ms. Lee is safe at home, which means the coast is clear for them to move. Here they are, the 6 members of the Yusung study group, ready to risk it all. The night is long, and the air is thick with tension. Flashback to a few hours ago. The group stands united, their goal clear and simple. We shall defeat Hanwol Pai. The resolve is unbreakable. Let's go. Meanwhile, the school's top brass are having a meeting of their own. The vice principal is freaking out, listing all the insane problems at their school. Violence, murder for hire, gangs, and asks if they should really hold this meeting. The principal looks grim, but confirms it's happening. They know this meeting, initiated by Ms. Lee, who's only been here for 4 months, is targeting Hanwol Pai. They're worried there'll be another victim, another teacher killed. These old-timers are clearly scared of taking responsibility. As they're talking, someone comes in to pour tea. The principal sees the green tea, and his face just drops. He's sweating bullets. There's definitely a story there. And then we cut to a massive building with YB on it. Who's this new player? Turns out, this building belongs to Hanwol Pai's father. Standing against the sunset, Hanwol's silhouette is just pure arrogance. He admits he was the one who reported the principal, and he's not sorry about it all. His father, Yanbaek Pai of the Whitehead Gang, is apparently trying to clean up his image and go into politics. And this little brat Hanwol is using his dad's power to do whatever he wants. You can tell the relationship between them is incredibly tense. Look at this guy's face. He has zero respect, even for his own father. He apologizes for missing the student council meeting tomorrow because of his dad, but his tone is pure mockery. Don't worry, he says. This isn't an apology, it's a threat. Meanwhile, we meet Hanwol's twin sister, Hansol. And look at her, she's absolutely ecstatic. A total fangirl, spinning around in her new dress. She's the complete opposite of her psycho brother. She's chatting with her friends when suddenly, her brother Hanwol appears. The vibe instantly changes, but surprisingly, their interaction is pretty sweet. He's got a soft spot for his sister, that's for sure. She asks him to play with her, but Hanwol says he's busy today. He makes a promise. Tomorrow, I'll play with you until you fall asleep. Oh boy, you just know that promise is going to get broken in the most dramatic way possible. They make a pinky promise, a sweet moment between siblings. But then, we see Hanwol standing alone on a rooftop, his expression cold as ice. You have to wonder what dark plans are hiding behind that promise. And just as we thought, Gammon and the crew have arrived at the location. Hanwol Pai's hideout, an old, abandoned building. The showdown is about to begin. So this place is the old white lead group building, now repurposed as Hanwol's base of operations. He only tells his closest people about it, which means either our crew has a mole or their intel game is just top-notch. Little do they know, Hanwol is one step ahead. He's watching them on his phone. It's exactly as you said. He knew they were coming. The entire building is a trap, and our heroes are walking right into it. Hanwol's mysterious accomplice gets his orders. You're going to have to stay with Hanwol. Who's this guy? He seems completely unfazed by the fact that he's being used as bait. Definitely a dangerous dude. Back with our crew, they know something is off. They know it's a trap, but there's no turning back now. Jun is absolutely furious, gritting his teeth and swearing to make Hanwol and his lackeys pay. His friends are worried, but Gammon just give a slight smile. He knows waiting isn't their style. It's time to go. And just like that, the order is given, destroy them. The building's alarm suddenly blares. Looks like the welcoming party has started. The study group realizes these guys are on another level, but it's too late to back down now. It's go time. He1 quickly changes the plan. No more ambush. She tells Sahayan to stay outside and watch for anything suspicious. Her biggest fear right now? Not the bad guys, but Gammon's mom. You gotta love it. Meanwhile, downstairs, the fight is about to kick off. And they're here. The study group storms the building. The enemy is waiting for them, armed and ready. This is about to get messy. The villains start their classic monologue, explaining how Hanwol Pai runs the entire southern region of Incheon, how notorious and brutal he is. You know, standard pre-fight trash talk. But June isn't waiting for the speech to finish. He just dives right in. He doesn't care who they are. He's here to fight. And these small fry thugs are no match for him. They go down instantly. June is on an absolute rampage. He's just tearing through them, one punch after another. This is what the main crew does best, clearing out the fodder to look cool. Meanwhile, our boy with the purple hair is having the time of his life, shouting out his special move names like he's in an anime. The cringe is real. Even his teammate is telling him he's embarrassing. Fierce Tiger shakes up the forest. Okay, the name is ridiculous, but you can't deny the power behind it. He sends his opponent flying with a single punch. He might be cringe, but he's got the skills to back it up. And don't forget about our blonde brawler. She's holding her own with her tiger fist style. This huge bald dude thought he could take her, but she completely overpowers him and sends him crashing to the floor. She's not even impressed. They're not even worthy of a pass on a test, she scoffs. And then her red-headed partner ups the ante, declaring he'll take on two at once. The confidence on this team is insane. The entire first floor is absolute chaos. The study group is just plowing through Hanwol's forces like they're nothing. Their power level is off the charts. The brawl rages on. Every punch, every kick is brutal and intense. This is just another day at Yusung High, where talking is optional and fighting is the main language. But things are taking a turn. Jaiwoo is in trouble. Looks like the enemy has some heavy hitters too, and she just took a nasty blow. Her teammates are shocked. They didn't expect her to struggle. Gammon realizes what's happening. The enemy was waiting for them. This is all a stall tactic. It's a race against time now, he thinks. They need to find Hanwol, and they need to find him fast. The team gets the message instantly. Go upstairs, Gammon. Go up with Sahayan. They'll hold the line here while Gammon goes for the final boss. This is what teamwork looks like. The crew left behind is fired up, ready to give it their all to buy some time. Meanwhile, Gammon and Sahayan, carrying the weight of the mission, start their ascent to the top floor. Under the pale moonlight, Gammon and Sahayan race through the corridors. Their objective is clear. Find Hanwol Pai and put a stop to his plan, whatever it is. But of course, it's not going to be that easy. A new challenger appears. It's the guy with the dreadlocks, Jae-Hwang Chu, one of Hanwol's main guys. And he's blocking their path with a smug grin. Gammon tells Sahayan to go on ahead while he handles this guy. But Jae-Hwang starts mocking him, calling him a weak-ass loser for using his friend as a meat shield. Tricks, man, that's not going to work on our boy. His words, however, seem to trigger something in Gammon. He thinks back on how much stronger his friends, Sunchul and June, have become. They're not the same people who needed his protection anymore. I'm not weak, Gammon thinks, recalling his training and past fights. And I'm definitely not a meat shield. He's remembering everything he's learned and how far he's come. I'm just an ordinary student, Gammon says, showing off his prized possession, his study notebook. But the bad guy just scoffs, calling it firewood, and even pulls out a lighter. You don't mess with a man's notes. You burned my books, didn't you? That's it. Gammon snaps. You can mess with him, you can mess with his friends, but you do not mess with his study materials. He unleashes a brutal punch, and now the real fight begins. Let's flash back a few days. Our boy Gammon, in his quest to get stronger, actually went to his teacher, Hankyong, and asked her for private taekwondo lessons. The audacity of this kid. Hankyong is completely stunned. Are you being serious? But looking at Gammon's earnest and slightly shameless smile, she reluctantly agrees. Our boy will do anything to achieve his academic dreams, even if it means getting beat up by his teacher. The truth is, she was worried about him. She knows he's not the type to bully others and fears that the violent environment of the school is getting to him. So she invites him in, hoping to teach him about true strength. She quotes the great Malcolm X. Committing violence as a form of defense is not violence, it's intelligence. A powerful lesson that clearly resonates with Gammon, who has only ever fought to protect himself and his friends. For Gammon, this isn't just a quote, it's common sense. It's the creed he's lived by. He doesn't fight for fun or to bully others. He fights to protect his dream of studying. He remembers all the times he tried to avoid fights, only to get dragged into more trouble. In a place like Yusung High, turning the other cheek just gets you hit twice. Back in the present, facing Jae-Wang's taunts, Gammon's eyes are filled with determination. He's no longer the kid who just dodges and runs. Gammon goes on the offensive, launching a lightning-fast kick that his opponent barely manages to dodge. I barely dodged it, Jae-Hwang thinks, completely shocked. He never expected this nerd to have such speed and power. In order to defeat you, Gammon's killing intent is palpable. Now Jae-Hwang is just pissed. How dare you dodge me? He can't believe he's being outmaneuvered by this loser. His ego is taking a massive hit. Did you really think you could defeat me just by training for a few days? Jae-Hwang yells, but the shock on his face tells a different story. Meanwhile, his friends are still wondering what kind of amazing secret skill Gammon learned. Gammon knows his limits. He wasn't there to learn some super amazing skill. He says, there are only two things I can do. His teacher sees his resolve, and with a firm, let's begin, the real training starts. And what's the first lesson? Learning how to take a hit. That's right, the goal is to develop the courage not to blink even when you're getting punched. Look at our poor boy. This training is absolutely brutal. Don't close your eyes just because it hurts. Open your eyes. Keep looking. His teacher is relentless, forcing him to confront his fear head-on. And back to the fight, that's exactly what he's doing. His eyes are wide open, reading his opponent's every move. Therefore, he thinks before yelling out his newly invented special move, chestnut uppercut punch. The second thing he learned was how to attack weak points. If you can't overpower your enemy, you find an opening and land a critical hit. It's the most practical fighting skill of all. See through the attack, and then aim for the jaw. The perfect combination. This is Gammon's answer. Using intelligence and courage to make up for what he lacks in raw power. A clean hit right on the jaw. Jae-Hwang is sent reeling. It was fast, precise, and absolutely devastating. The damage is real, and so is the humiliation. Loser. Jae-Hwang is completely losing it. He can't believe he got beat up by a weak-ass loser. Look at his crew. They're just as stunned. Gammon's special training paid off big time. It wasn't just about fighting techniques. It was about a mental upgrade. He's no longer the nerd you can just push around. Jawa was right all along. Spiky hair is the iconography of a main character. And right now, Gammon's protagonist aura is shining brighter than ever. But the fight's not over yet. Upstairs, a new enemy awaits. This guy with the orange hair looks like trouble, and he informs them that there are different obstacles on each floor. This place is basically a video game dungeon. Back on the first floor, Jun is still cleaning house, wiping the floor with these so-called proud fighters. He's proving that in the battlegrounds of Yusung High, only the strong survive. The rest of the crew is rushing upstairs to catch up. They're joking about how much of a monster Jun is, but they're also worried about Gammon. I guess Gammon already went upstairs and handled everyone, one of them says. They have so much faith in our boy. But now, the real bosses have entered the chat. The purple-haired guy and the dreadlocks dude, Hamill's top lieutenants. Just look at those eyes. The pressure is immense. Jun sees the figures on the stairs and immediately halts. He can feel the intense aura. Wait, he says, telling his friends he's never seen them like this before and that he'll catch up soon. He's ready to face them alone. Meanwhile, Gammon and Sahayan have hit a dead end. There are no more stairs. It seems Hanwol has cornered them, planning to take them out right here. But just then, the elevator dings and out walk the two monsters from Seoul. Ah-Sung Hong and Mugia Choi. They're the bosses of this floor. It looks like we're in for a 2v2 matchup. The guy starts running his mouth, immediately getting on Gammon's bad side. Our boy's face darkens, his eyes glowing with rage. This dude has no idea who he just provoked. Sahayan makes the first move. She can't stand by while they insult her friends. She launches herself into a flying kick, aiming right for the guy's face. Both sides are fighting for their friends, a classic high school brawl motive. The fight kicks off over some "he flirted with my friend's boyfriend" drama. The pettiness is real. Who knew Gammon's nerdy friend was a Hapkido master? He starts trash-talking, comparing Sahayan to his goddess of Hapkido, and even strikes a tiger fist pose. This is getting ridiculous. Not another one shouting his move names. Tiger shakes up the forest. He throws a massive punch, full of power and bravado, but it looks like Sahayan dodged it with ease. This guy's playing dirty. He suggests a kid's game to distract her, and then uses the opening to trap her in a Hapkido lock. It's a cheap shot, but you can't argue with the results. Meanwhile, Gammon is facing off against the blonde bruiser. He's a tiger fist user too, and their fight is an intense back and forth. The action in this building is nonstop. Looks like Gammon is in a tough spot, getting overpowered and thrown around. These transfer students from Seoul are no joke. Their reputation is well-deserved. But you think our boy is down for the count? Think again. He's been hiding, smirking from behind a door. He saw this coming. The tables are about to turn. The Real fight begins now. Gammon links up with another mysterious ally, ready to take them on in a proper 2v2 showdown. Gammon faces off against the big guy. He might not have the raw strength, but he's got the technique and battle sense to even the odds. He's remembering his training with his teacher, how he couldn't even break or grapple. But it's those failures, those brutal lessons that made him stronger. Now, he's analyzing his opponent's every move, but he can't see an opening. But Gammon knows, if you can't find an opening, you make one. Gammon unleashes a relentless barrage of attacks, pressuring his opponent, forcing him to make a mistake. And the second his opponent gets distracted, his partner strikes from behind. You hit the one that shows an opening. That's their strategy. That's what a 2v2 match is, you fools, the enemy taunts. They think they've already won, but they're seriously underestimating the bonds of the study group. How dare you hit my girl? The glasses guy completely loses it when he sees Sahayan get hit. The power of love is a terrifying thing. Let's see which side has better teamwork. The fight has reached its climax. This is no longer just a brawl. It's a battle of wills, a test of teamwork. Just as the study group's 2v2 is hitting its peak, we cut to a completely different scene on a quiet street. A lady in a Hapkido uniform and some dude in a sharp green suit are on a smoke break. He tries to play it cool, asking for a lighter. But forget them. Back at the school, the battle is absolutely raging. Our boy with the glasses is in full-on protection mode, unleashing a brutal kick straight to his opponent's face. Oof, that's gotta hurt. And his partner, Sahayan, is holding her own too. They're fighting back-to-back, a whirlwind of fists and feet. The enemy team is tough, but this couple's synergy is off the charts. But Sahayan knows she's the target. The anxiety is real. She's worried that if he focuses too much on protecting her, he'll leave himself wide open. And bad timing, because the enemy is powering up his special move, the Fists of the Tiger. And there it is. The blonde dude makes a beeline straight for her, completely ignoring her boyfriend. He's trying to take out the support, a classic but dirty move. A little insight here. Professional martial artists are trained for duels, not chaotic brawls. But our girl? She grew up fighting multiple people at once. This is her home turf. And you can totally see it in her fighting style. It's unpredictable, it's messy, it's effective. Both sides are screaming, the rage is palpable. This is a desperate struggle for survival. She even taunts her opponent, yelling, "I like US," facing each other. The sheer confidence. Look at Glasses Guy's face. He's both shocked and incredibly proud. That's his girl. And get this, they start flirting mid-fight. He goes, "By the way, babe, you're breathing pretty hard," and she just laughs. Meanwhile, the orange-haired dude is just staring, completely bewildered. Are they serious right now? Okay, playtime is over. The enemy lands a solid hit. Our couple knows they need to end this now. They're gearing up for a final, decisive blow. The girl is officially pissed. "You want to do it here? Let's do it." And bam, the Hapkido text appears. She's about to unleash her true skills. And she's not just using kicks and punches. She whips out her belt as an improvised weapon, combining it with a flying kick. Talk about being resourceful. Meanwhile, in another part of the school, Sunchul Kim is in a brawl of his own. The ponytail girl is trash-talking him. "You can't handle me by yourself." But Sunchul is a tank. He just absorbs the blow and hoists her up for a body slam. And we get a quick martial arts lesson. Turns out the master of the Tiger's Fist has been evolving the style, combining it with other arts like Wing Chun. This isn't your grandpa's kung fu. Sunchul remembers his master's words. The Tiger's Fist is always growing. They train so hard because they know there's always someone stronger out there. You adapt, or you get left behind. Back to the fight. Sunchul is putting that training into action. He's got her locked in a bone-crushing bear hug. There's no escaping that. And in yet another fight, our orange-haired girl tries the same belt move, but it fails hilariously. Her opponent is shorter than she expected, so instead of a chokehold, she just shoves the belt in her mouth. They're both so confused right now. She flashes back to her MMA coach's advice. Real fights are messy. If you get stuck thinking about perfect techniques, you'll freeze. The key is to improvise. And she does exactly that. Plan A with the belt failed, so she instantly switches to Plan B. A clean judo throw. She's adapting on the fly, just like her coach taught her. But just as she's about to celebrate, thud, a massive crash shakes the entire hallway. Through the dust, a new challenger with red hair appears, panting heavily. Things just got interesting. And we cut back to our lovebirds, and it's not looking good. They're both down for the count. He's complaining about a loose tooth. She's pointing upstairs. Their teamwork just wasn't enough this time. But hey, even in defeat, they're still adorable. Just lying there together, staring at the ceiling. "Can't believe we're lying on the floor together," he says. It's a weirdly romantic moment after getting there, but's kicked. She's replaying the fight, thinking he could have won if he wasn't worried about her. Meanwhile, in the criminal underworld, Detective Huang is reporting in. He's taking care of another detective. The corruption plot thickens. But while the corrupt cop is on his phone, wham, a figure swoops in out of nowhere with a flying kick, sending him and his phone airborne. What an entrance. And there he is. It's our boy Gamin Yun. The main character has finally entered the chat, and he looks absolutely furious. The guy on the ground recognizes him immediately. It's about to go down. Look at another angle on that. Gamin comes in like a lightning bolt, a blur of motion. Look at the pure shock on the bystander's face. He didn't even see it coming. Our boy is on a mission. That's right, the legend of Yusung Tech, the protector of the study group, Gamin Yun, is here. He's ready to take down anyone who threatens his dream of hitting the books. Meanwhile, back in the teacher's office, the faculty is fighting their own battle. They prepared a case report that could finally get the school's top bully, Hamel Pai, expelled for good. But they know it won't be easy. The male teacher reflects on a past tragedy, the death of Ms. O, and the mood turns somber. She pleads with him to be safe. They're up against something truly dangerous. Turns out, Ms. O's death is highly suspicious and likely connected to Hamel Pai. She went missing the day before a crucial council meeting and was found dead. The case was dismissed as a motiveless murder, but he suspects foul play. He muses that Hamel doesn't seem like a psychopath, unless he has some extreme obsession with the school. But he warns her to be on high alert. If anything feels suspicious, he says, call me immediately, not the police. He tries to reassure her, saying it's possible nothing will happen, but they both know better. A storm is brewing, and the student council meeting is at its center. Later that night, someone unlocks a door. Back in the hallway, Gamin just sent that phone flying. The villain, Hamel Pai, calmly picks it up, a smug look on his face as he confronts our boy. Gamin is furious, but Hamel Pai just smirks and flips the script. Who do you think is the villain in this situation? He asks coolly. The audacity of this guy is off the charts. Hamel picks up the phone and starts monologuing. He admits Ms. O was in his way, and now he's figured out a way to get rid of Gamin and his friends, the entire study group, from the school for good. Gamin is confused. Case report. Turns out, Hamel has been preparing for the student council meeting. His plan is to use it as a weapon to destroy the study group from within the system. And now I can get rid of all of you, Hamel gloats. You were way too arrogant, thinking you found my weakness. Now you will all get expelled. The smugness is radiating off him. The corrupt detective tries to flex his authority. Did you forget that I'm a detective? But Gamin remembers his friend's warning. Don't act emotionally, or everything will go exactly as Hamel wants. Gamin tries to hold back. He really does, but he can't. He unleashes a vicious kick, sending the dirty cop flying. Sometimes, you just gotta let your fists do the talking. Are you out of your mind? How dare you attack a detective? The cop sputters. But then Gamin remembers that shady phone call from Detective Huang. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to click into place. And there it is. Gamin's friend had been recording Detective Huang's conversation the whole time. They have proof of his corruption. The tables have turned. It was all part of the plan. The glasses guy had warned Gamin beforehand. Stay calm, record everything, and don't get provoked into a fight. They were one step ahead the whole time. With the evidence in hand, Gamin goes on the offensive. He confronts the detective, bringing up last year's motiveless murder. This guy has skeletons in his closet, and Gamin is rattling the cage. Exposed, the detective panics and lunges at Gamin. Big mistake. Our boy effortlessly dodges and counters with a picture-perfect kick, knocking him out cold. With the trash taken out, only the final boss remains, Hamel Pai. Gamin slowly approaches him, his eyes burning with intensity. He's here to deliver justice for everyone Hamel has hurt. Hamel isn't one to back down. He throws a punch, meeting Gamin head-on. The ultimate showdown between the school's hero and its villain is finally here. One fights to protect his dream of studying. The other fights for his twisted obsession with control. Good versus evil. Who will come out on top? Elsewhere, a handcuffed Gamin is searching through a warehouse. The bald guy watching him comments on the situation, calling Gamin a monster, but acknowledging that Hamel Pai is a formidable opponent in his own right. Flashing back to the fight, Gamin and Hamel are trading blows. It's an intense, evenly matched battle, with neither giving an inch. Gamin grabs Hamel by the collar and executes a brutal throw, slamming him onto the hard floor. Our boy is not holding back. Hamel's lackey panics, worried the phone with the evidence will be destroyed. But Glasses guy is cool as a cucumber. Don't worry, he says, the file automatically uploaded to the cloud. The fangirling is real for our tech genius. The fight between Gamin and Hamel escalates. There's a crazed look in Hamel's eyes. He seems to be enjoying this. This guy is a certified psychopath. Gamin presses him. You believe you're doing the right thing, don't you? But Hanwol just deflects. If you knock me out, can you protect Hankyong Lee? He's trying to get inside Gammon's head. Gammon's rage fuels him, and he doubles down on his assault. Hanwol is pushed back, but he's still smiling, taunting. How naive. You are way too nigh. He doesn't even get to finish his sentence before Gammon unleashes a devastating combo of punches and knees. He's absolutely pummeling him. The fight is a blur of motion. Both are landing heavy hits, but Gammon seems to have the upper hand. Hanwol is tough, but he's getting overwhelmed. Finally, Gammon sees an opening and throws a monster punch. The impact is so powerful it shatters the nearby window. That was a knockout blow for sure. Hanwol collapses to his knees, looking up at Gammon in disbelief. Are you trying to kill me or something? He asks. The fight seems to be over. But Hanwol isn't done. He keeps pushing, relentlessly asking, now, who's stronger? His obsession with power is insane. But then, trouble strikes. The corrupt detective gets back up, and he's got a taser. He sneaks up behind Gammon, ready for a cheap shot. This is low, even for him. It was all part of Hanwol's plan. He knew Gammon would show up, so he set up this situation to give the detective an opportunity to prove his loyalty by taking Gammon down. His goal was to have the detective record Gammon assaulting him, creating undeniable evidence to get our boy thrown in juvie. A perfect, clean way to eliminate his rival. Gammon's friend figures out the whole scheme and tries to warn him. But it's too late. The detective lunges with the taser. Get lost! Gammon roars, kicking the detective away again. But the distraction gave Hanwol time to recover. This is why I said you're naive. He says, getting to his feet. Hanwol keeps the pressure on, making a phone call while stomping on the hand of Gammon's friend, threatening him to make our boy pass out. The situation has become desperate. To protect his friend, Gammon has no choice but to let himself be restrained. He's held down by two of Hanwol's thugs, forced to watch. The look of helplessness and rage on his face is heartbreaking. But just in the nick of time, a new player arrives. A red-haired guy shows up and stops Hanwol's lackey. Who is this guy? Is he a friend or another foe? Hanwol Pai's real motive? The newcomer asks. It seems he knows some inside information. Looks like there's a much bigger conspiracy going on behind the scenes. Meanwhile, in a nearby car, a group of thugs are arguing. They've been given a job, but they're scared of the consequences. There's dissent in the ranks. Back at the school, Gammon has broken free and is rushing towards Hanwol, demanding to know what happened after he got tossed by that dirty cop. We learn the red-haired guy's name is Jun Lee. A flashback shows him at 15, being bullied and pressured to give up his social media account. A harsh look at the reality of school violence. Young Jun refused to give in, standing up to the bullies who wanted to sell his account to illegal gambling sites. But his defiance only earned him a brutal beatdown. And now, that same blue-haired bully from 3 years ago stands before him, smiling casually. How have you been? He asks. Has it been about 3 years? The irony is sickening. Jun cuts straight to the chase. Anti, you've become Hanwol's man now. It seems his old tormentor has joined up with the main villain. No surprise there. Anti, the blue-haired guy, seems to have something important to say. Let's go downstairs. I'll explain, he says, leading Jun away. What is he planning? The conversation doesn't last long. Tensions flare, and Jun throws the first kick. The fight is on, but Anti is way stronger than he used to be. He easily dodges the attack and even compliments Jun. You've gotten stronger. This guy has definitely leveled up over the years. Jun is furious. Did you really come all this way just to talk about the past? But Anti is cold, telling him to get out of his way. The history between these two runs deep. Another flashback reveals how they first met. Anti was just a punk kid smoking in the school alleyway, and Jun was the one who called him out on it. But over time, Anti started hanging out with the wrong crowd, the very same bullies who tried to take Jun's account. Jun hated it, but there was nothing he could do. Then one night, Jun witnessed Anti's new friends bullying another student, trying to steal his account just like they did to him. Jun's conscience wouldn't let him walk away. Anti was there, just watching from the sidelines. It's revealed he had this twisted hope that one day, Jun would get strong enough to protect him. What a messed up way to think. Jun charged in, determined to protect Anti and make him see the error of his ways. But he was too weak. He was beaten down, failing to save his friend from the darkness. After that night, Anti disappeared from Jun's life. Now, they meet again as enemies. Before Jun can even process it, Anti lands a heavy blow. Anti mocks him, saying Jun is too busy trying to be a hero to actually improve his skills. He scoffs at the innocence still inside him. He's become completely jaded. Lectures are for people who have the possibility to be saved, Anti says, revealing the traumatic past that shaped him. It's too late for you. And then he pulls out a gun, pointing it straight at Jun. You're also prepared to be killed, right? He asks with a chilling smile. And Tai has gone completely off the deep end. But just as things look their bleakest, the girls of the study group arrive as backup. And they're not here to play. They immediately jump into the fray, fists flying. The scene erupts into a chaotic brawl. Hanwol is fighting off attackers while simultaneously trash-talking everyone. This guy's mouth is as foul as his actions. Meanwhile, it's a battle of the tiger's fist. Sunchul is facing off against his opponent in an epic display of their dojo's signature style. The action is intense. Hanwol continues his psychological warfare, trying to break everyone's spirit. You think you can start a new life? He sneers. Your cringy high school musical is over now. He picks up the phone, declaring their hopes and dreams finished. Anti chimes in, people change. What a depressing villainous duo. With his gun still raised, Anti delivers his twisted philosophy. The reason people say you can't change other people is because most of them change for the worse. He's projecting his own fall from grace onto everyone else. Later that night, shadowy figures are on the move. A girl wakes up from a nightmare, screaming for Ms. Lee. And outside, another girl watches from the shadows. The danger is closing in. Ms. Lee looks at the evidence on her phone, shocked. I can't believe there are so many bad people in this world. She's realizing just how dark and complicated things really are. But she doesn't back down. Even as she trembles with fear, she clenches her fist with resolve. She remembers studying with her students, and that memory gives her strength to fight. Hiding and observing, she spots a few suspicious cars. Before she can even process what's happening, something goes terribly wrong. Her shocked expression says it all. This is bad. Back at the school, the battle is over, and the hallway is a wreck. Hanwol Pai walks away, seemingly unscathed, as his underlings find him. There's no one in this world that is worth giving up on. That's Ms. Lee's core belief, her idealism. But Hanwol just scoffs at it. For him, it's all about survival of the fittest. Meanwhile, the other members of the study group are still locked in a desperate battle. They're outnumbered and injured, but they're fighting with everything they have. You should have just stayed out of it. The enemy yells, but the study group answers him with their fists. Hanwol calmly walks past a fallen opponent, his expression cold and detached. To him, anyone who dares to hope for a better future is just a fool who needs to be put in their place. Gammon has Hanwol on the ropes, but the villain brings up someone in a hospital, a clear threat. He's using innocent lives as leverage to control Gammon. Gammon's friend snaps, screaming, "IT is not a joke, Hanwol PI." The tension in the room is thick enough to cut with a knife. Hanwol stomps his foot, whispering a terrifying promise. I will kill you. Even his own ally is trembling in fear. This monster has completely lost it. Gammon's leg is injured, throbbing with pain, but he forces himself to stand. He's pushed to his limit, unsure of what to do next in this hopeless situation. And just when things couldn't get worse, more corrupt detectives arrive on the scene. They've got orders from Detective Huang. Arrest all of them. The study group is completely surrounded. They're all armed with tasers. It looks like it's over. But then, a beacon of hope appears. Ms. Lee stands in their way, protecting her students. An unarmed teacher, standing against a squad of corrupt cops. She spreads her arms wide, a fearless shield for the students behind her. What an absolute hero. Hanwol mocks her idealism. This is what you get for putting out some good faith. But to his shock, the girl who was knocked down starts laughing hysterically. Are you looking down on nice things right now? She laughs, utterly confusing him. That's the spirit. Even when they're beaten and bruised, they'll never let him crush their hope. Turns out, this was part of the plan too. She was secretly recording the whole thing and has already sent the video evidence out. The counterattack is about to begin. The signal reached the Chinatown Kwun Association. A whole army of martial arts masters is now heading for Yusung High. The real cavalry has arrived. There are some people in this world who are genuinely good. They provoke our nature of wanting to help and protect. Ms. Lee and the study group are those people. But at the same time, a new threat emerges. A punk fresh out of juvie, Hyunwoo Lee, is gathering his own crew. He's got his sights set on Yusung High too. Back in a fight, Gammon's friend gives him a much-needed pep talk. You are not a loser who can't beat up Hanwol Pai just because you can't use one leg. The power of friendship is real. All right, let's rewind a bit. 2 days ago, our new threat, Hyunwoo Lee, fresh out of juvie, rocks up to Yusung High expecting a welcome party or something. But nobody's there. He's literally scratching his head like, did I get the date wrong? Just when he thinks he's been stood up, he spots someone waving like a maniac in the distance. And who's this friendly face? Oh, just some goon putting his arm around Hyunwoo, who's not looking too pleased. Check out the shirt, though. Rehabilitated. Ironic much? Meanwhile, this blonde dude looks ready to throw down, and they're all mouthing off about juvenile law, thinking they're untouchable. The conversation that follows is just pure chaos. They're arguing about the finer points of juvenile law, with our glasses-wearing genius trying to explain it's for kids under 14. Not them. But his crew's like, nah man, it sounds cool. It's all fun and games until someone screams. They're coming, and you see weapons flashing. Looks like their legal debate is about to be interrupted. So, turns out this welcoming party has a theme. They're the We Can Do It rehab guys, and they've even got matching t-shirts. Hyunwoo is looking at this rehabilitated shirt like it's the stupidest thing he's ever seen. His boy explains it's a welcome gift and that they have a secret mission from Jowoo that the boss can't know about. This crew is already a mess, I can tell. Meanwhile, we get a glimpse into another character's dark past. This purple-haired dude is thinking about how he only got probation. The flashback shows him with a knife in the school hallway, terrorizing other students. Now, in the present, a girl is kneeling on the floor as he resolves to prove himself. Everyone at this school has some serious baggage, and the rehab guys are really committed to the bit. They even have a team chant. We can do it. Somewhere else, a woman is lying in bed, passionately declaring that people can be fixed. But her idea of fixing people seems a little twisted, as the next panel shows our red-haired rehab member screaming, "Take them out," while his boys brandish weapons. Yeah, this is some violent therapy session. Elsewhere, the action is popping off. The masters from the Chinatown Tigers Fist Kwon have entered the fray, and they're not playing around. We're seeing Mantis Fist, Tiger Fist, all sorts of crazy martial arts. The sound effects are brutal. Whack. Thwack. This is a proper brawl. Master Gong himself is on the scene, kicking but in taking names. Look at the form on that kick. But their opponents are playing dirty, pulling out guns, and screaming about how they're from Chinatown. Someone even yells that this is obstruction of enforcement. Things are escalating way too fast. And Kai Bum Wong from the Tigers Fist Kwon is an absolute madman. After announcing himself, he tells his buddies to just block the bullets with their bodies because they can only shoot a few times anyway. Dude, that is some next-level, insane bravery right there. The loyalty is real. Back inside the school, it's total pandemonium. Some old dude is yelling his head off. Another guy is dual-wielding sticks ready for a fight, and our blonde friend looks completely shocked by whatever he's seeing. It looks like multiple battles are breaking out all over the school at the same time. Absolute chaos. The core members of the study group are feeling the pressure. Hank Yong looks super stressed, and the others are realizing what this is all about. It's to protect their teacher. The stakes are getting personal now, and everyone is on edge. And now, back to the main event. Our boy Gammon might have an injured leg from the last fight, but that's not stopping him. Look at the determination in his eyes as he throws a heavy punch. He's fighting to protect everything he's built. The opponent is relentless, landing brutal hits that leave Gammon bleeding. But our boy's inner monologue is pure fire. No. If I fall right now. He knows he can't give up. His friends are counting on him, and that's all the motivation he needs. Even with his legs screaming in pain, possibly a fractured kneecap, Gammon unleashes his secret weapon. Uncle's forbidden tactic, fourth move. He powers through the agony, and the attack is so fast and unexpected that his opponent is just completely stunned. The dude never saw it coming, and he follows it up with what looks like a 0-inch punch. The impact is insane. You can just feel the power as the enemy goes flying. And with that, it's over. That's our boy Gammon for you. A total beast, even when he's injured. The fight's over, and Gammon is on one knee, bloody but victorious. He tells his defeated foe that his dirty trick of faking a weakness reminds him of a lot of people. Just then, another figure appears. A dark-haired guy who seems to know Gammon is headed to Yusung High, and he doesn't sound happy about it. This guy just keeps laying into Gammon, warning him not everything will go your way. He's threatening that the very school Gammon cherishes is only going to get worse because of him. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. But Hankyong isn't having any of it. She steps up and points out that the day's events will be investigated, putting the blame squarely on him. Being called out like that, he completely loses his cool and just screams at her to shut up. His whole plan is unraveling. Gammon zips up his jacket, his expression hardening. He basically says, "I'm not smart enough for your mind games, and frankly, I don't care why you did what you did." He flashes back to the day he gave that speech to the whole school, reminding himself of his promise to change things. His resolve is unshakable. With his eyes literally glowing with determination, Gammon points directly at his enemy, his aura completely overwhelming. The other guy can only grimace in pain and anger. In this moment, it's clear who the real winner is. The good guys are taking this one. But wait, it's not over yet. The enemy makes a desperate last stand, and they're back at it, trading blows in a flurry of motion. The sound effects tell the whole story. Smash. Swoosh. This final showdown is getting absolutely brutal, and Gammon's pulling out another one of Uncle's forbidden tactics. He grabs the guy's head and executes a perfect throw, sending him flying through the air. The move is so fluid and powerful. He's showing off, and he knows it. The final move, the wedge. Gammon slams his opponent into the ground with incredible force, a massive wham echoing through the hall. The blue energy exploding around him says it all. This fight is definitively over. Absolute domination. With the dust settled, Gammon finally collapses from exhaustion. He lands in a trashed room, surrounded by broken glass and a mysterious package addressed to Hanul. It seems like there's more to this conflict than meets the eye. And the chapter ends on a cryptic note, showing a message from Yoonghwa. Who is she? And what's her connection to all this? The plot thickens. The secrets of Yusung High run deeper than we thought. A new day brings new gossip. The students are whispering about the fearsome new transfer student, Yeonbaek Pai. But our girl Hankyong holds onto her belief no one is born bad. Can her idealism survive in a place like this? And speaking of the devil, here's our new guy, Hamil Pai. By day, he's a calm, calculating strategist playing with chess pieces. But then, BEM, he can unleash this terrifying power, eyes glowing blue, energy crackling around him. This dude is seriously dangerous. In the middle of another fight, Gammon's vision is starting to get blurry. He's taking a serious beating, with every clash and BAM pushing him closer to his limit. This battle is a true test of his endurance. Cut to another scene. A guy is on the floor, crying in despair. What am I supposed to do? But then something snaps. His whole demeanor changes as he looks up at his attacker and says, "If you're here to kill me, you are also prepared to be killed, right?" What a comeback. The chills are real. And the guy he's facing is completely unhinged, dual-wielding pistols with a crazed look in his eyes. Judging from the flashbacks of ambulances and old photos, he's been through some serious trauma. What's the story behind this madness? Even with a gun pointed at him, the guy on the floor isn't backing down. He's yelling at the gunman to put the thing down, even taunting him. When threatened with being shot, he just grits his teeth, ready for whatever comes next. This man has nerves of steel. Then, bang, a shot rings out, but the gunman is the one who gets hit. He looks completely stunned as blood drips from the back of his head. And the guy watching this unfold? He's cheering. This is so F***CKIN cool. What is even happening anymore? This story is wild. The victor stands over the loser, laughing maniacally. Did you become weak in the knees, thinking you could really die? Loser, haha. The sheer cruelty of the bullying in this school is on full display. He composes himself and says coldly, "I don't got time to deal with you. Let's not see each other again." But the guy on the floor looks furious, like this isn't over. The onlookers just watch the drama unfold. The atmosphere is just packed with tension. In another room, our red-haired friend is having a complete breakdown. One moment he's sobbing, the next he's filled with rage, his face contorted in agony. Whatever he's going through, it's tearing him apart from the inside. He stumbles into a messy room, debating whether to join Gammon's side, when he spots something on the floor, a letter addressed to Hanul. The discovery stops him dead in his tracks. His expression shifts from despair to utter shock. He tells himself he's not interested in other people's mail, but who is he kidding? He opens the letter, and whatever he reads inside completely breaks him. Look at that face, pure, unrestrained fury. What shocking secret was in that letter? Back with Gammon, he's being completely overpowered by the dark-haired man, trembling under his immense strength. The man presses him, demanding to know, "I don't get it. Why are you doing this?" Gammon seems to be in a hopeless situation here. He keeps pushing, "Why, just so that you could do bad things?" Every word is like a punch to the gut. It's the central question of this school. Is it even possible to be a good person here, or does the environment corrupt everyone? Cut to the teacher's office, where Ms. O is losing her mind at a student. "Why are you keep causing trouble? Why would you beat people?" Her frustration is palpable. She's speaking for every teacher who's at their wits' end with this school. But the student she's yelling at, Hanwol, is completely unfazed. He's acting all high and mighty. Ms. O fires back, saying she's dealt with countless punks like him and threatens him with a student council meeting. The defiance from this kid is off the charts. Another teacher tries to calm Ms. O down with the classic kids these days excuse, but she's not having it, revealing she has a son his age. Then, the other shoe drops. The student, Hanwol, whispers to his friend about his powerful father. Ah, so he's a rich kid with connections. That explains the arrogance. Ms. O turns away and delivers a powerful speech. She argues that blaming society or the generation is the easy way out. What truly influences kids, she says, is the environment that they're currently a part of. And teachers are a huge part of that environment. She looks directly at another student, her words filled with conviction. To the students, the teacher is the society and the generation. Her passion is inspiring, and it clearly leaves a deep impression on him as he looks down, contemplating her words. She's a real one, but reality is harsh. The narrative reminds us that Gammon was once a person who thought good intentions could solve anything. Now he's being choked out, fighting for his life. Idealism gets you nowhere at Yusung High. Only fists seem to work. Even as he's on the ground, Hanwol Pai thinks he's the winner. He looks around, expecting his allies to back him up, but there's no one left. He's completely alone. That look of dawning realization and despair is more brutal than any punch. Just when things look bleakest, the cavalry arrives. A motorcycle comes roaring into the scene, its rider screaming, "Move!" The sudden chaos throws everyone for a loop. Talk about a dramatic entrance. The backup has arrived. It's the rest of the study group. They're here, and they are furious, screaming at Hanwol Pai for ruining Gammon's dream of making the school a better place. These are the kids who were bullied and pushed aside, and now they're standing up and fighting back. With tears in their eyes, they scream about being pushed down the wrong path, about having to give up on their dreams. It's a heartbreaking cry from the heart, a declaration that they won't just stand by and watch anymore. Their pain is fueling their fight. And that fact, it's like a punch to the face. Literally, a brutal thwack sends blood flying. This isn't just a punch, it's a statement. It's the culmination of all their pent-up anger and frustration. After the intense battle, the girls of the study group finally have a reason to smile. The fangirling is real. Look at them screaming with excitement. Nothing brings a team together like a good old-fashioned brawl for justice. Though they won, the fight took its toll. Gammon and his friends are utterly exhausted, panting on the floor. This victory was just one battle in a much larger war for the soul of Yusung High. Season 1 finale. Over at the police station, Detective Na is having a rough morning. He's stressed out because a whole crew of gangsters just vanished in a thin air overnight. He can't make heads or tails of it. Little does he know, the problem has already been taken care of. Meanwhile, Hanwol Pai is looking at his phone with a cryptic smile. It seems he was the puppet master pulling the strings behind the scenes all along. His subordinate reports that some guy on a motorcycle was chasing them, and he looked very upset. This biker is clearly one of the people Hanwol screwed over, and now he's out for revenge. The cycle of violence continues. Back in the school hallways, peace is short-lived. A student looks shocked after bumping into someone, who lets out a pained OOF. Even with Hanwol gone, Yusung High is still a chaotic mess of accidental collisions and probably not so accidental fights. The injured student is being pulled up by his friend, asking why. In his other hand, he's clutching a vinyl record of the Beatles' Abbey Road. Maybe music is his only escape from the constant violence of this school. Let's jump back in time. We see Ms. O on her first day as the homeroom teacher. The narrator calls her an odd woman. During roll call, every student answers. Her presence alone seems to command a strange kind of respect, or maybe fear. Yep, that's her, Yoonghwa Oh, the new homeroom teacher. She seems gentle, but she has this powerful aura. Even Hanwol Pai, the school's top dog, can only let out a frustrated sigh in her presence. This teacher is clearly built different. When she calls Hanwol Pai's name, there's no answer. He's absent. As soon as the bell rings, the kids bolt for snacks, and she just smiles and wishes them a good day. Hanwol reflects, I thought she was just an annoying teacher at first. But clearly, she's starting to get under his skin. Hanwol recalls his father's words, his hopes for him to live a different life. Study hard, don't cause trouble, go to college. These expectations weigh heavily on him, a constant reminder of the path he's supposed to follow. But Hanwol has his own ambitions. Staring at a map of the White League Gang's territory, he thinks, my path was decided the day I was born. He plans to use his inheritance to surpass even his father. His plotting is interrupted by a call from the school office. Back in the classroom, a girl notices Hanwol listening to Golden Slumbers by the Beatles. She strikes up a conversation about the song and mentions that vinyl sounds better. This unexpected connection to music seems to catch Hanwol completely off guard. Look at that surprised face. Hanwol is puzzled by Ms. O. Unlike the other teachers, she isn't afraid of him. She eats lunch with him, chases him down the hall. Her behavior is so different from what he's used to, and it leaves him completely bewildered. He initially believed that all advice from adults was self-serving. He figured Ms. O just wanted the glory of being the true mentor who transformed the son of the gang boss. He even planned to prevent her from coming to school on the day of the student council meeting. His thoughts drift to his mother's funeral. His father sacrificed her for power within the gang. Everything Hanwell has now is built on that sacrifice. In a flashback, he confronts his father, asking if he really thought he'd just give it all up. The family drama is intense. So that was his plan: prevent Ms. O from coming to school. If she couldn't hold the student council meeting, she couldn't interfere with his ambitions. As he looks down at his defeated classmates, his mind is already working on the next move. But his plan went south. Ms. O showed up anyway, with his little sister. The moment his sister cheerfully calls out his name, Hanwell, he completely loses his composure, screaming in panic. The drama is just off the charts. Later, at sunset, Ms. O finds Hanwell. She tells him he's really brave for facing the student council. She admits to being a teacher who's afraid of her students, but she won't back down as a mentor. Even though she doesn't know what tomorrow holds, she's choosing to believe in him. Her words seem to get through to him. He thinks about his sister and what Ms. O said about kids needing a mother figure. This unexpected warmth and understanding begins to melt his icy exterior. Meanwhile, Han Kyung finds Gammon and gently pats his head, telling him, "You're also a kid." Our boy is completely flustered, blushing, and confused. This wholesome moment is exactly what we needed after all that drama. The shipping is real. Ms. O lends Hanwell the Abbey Road vinyl, explaining it was a gift from her son. She makes him promise to read the letter inside. This album is clearly more than just music. It's a message. She explains the meaning behind golden slumbers and tells him the most important thing in life is to live an upright life. Her words are like a guiding light for the troubled young man, offering him a path out of the darkness. She just wants her students to have a peaceful life and for the school to improve. Hanwell worries he'll be expelled, but she tells him that accepting punishment is part of changing for the better. However, her attempts to guide him seem to have angered someone powerful behind the scenes. Hanwell's father gets a text from his men, ready to work on Ms. O. Hanwell reflects that in just 2 months, she made him feel like a child in an instant. He chooses to hold on to her words. "I believe no one is born bad." The next day, Ms. O is missing. The students are in a panic, but one of the other teachers looks smug, as if everything is going according to his plan. It was a setup, and on that massive cliffhanger, Season 1 comes to an end. Hanwell's father reveals the truth. He sent someone to offer Ms. O a deal to back off, but she refused it. Her integrity ultimately led to her disappearance. She stood her ground and paid the price. It seems Ms. O knew the risks. We see a flashback where she asks Han Kyung's father, who has connections, if he can guarantee her safety. His silence was the only answer she needed. She walked into the lion's den with her eyes wide open. Up on the rooftop, Han Kyung confronts Gammon, asking why he pitted her. Then she gently pats his head again, and our boy is back to being a flustered, blushing mess. The chemistry between these two is undeniable. Hanwell struggles with his conscience, thinking he was out of his mind to even consider listening to Ms. O. But in the end, her influence remains. He resolves to make Yusung High a good school, both for himself and for the teacher who believed in him. He decides to stick to his own path, creating a school where people can focus on studying. But his methods are harsh. He believes he must teach hopeful kids the bitter reality of the world, all as part of his grand plan to eventually take down his own father. With a cold smirk, he declares his true motive. "Because I can't defeat him with good motives, I will bring him down to the ground, no matter what it takes." At the same time, the vinyl record Ms. O lent him is discovered by Gammon's friends. The plot threads are starting to connect. And so, the stage is set for a massive showdown. The Yusung study group, the ambushers of Songdo, and the Chinatown Kwon have all joined forces. 3 powerful factions are now united against the darkness threatening the school. This is about to get epic. The night of the big clash left many injured, and Detective Na got involved. After all the fighting, everyone is just tired. Gammon lies in bed, the exhaustion of the long battle etched on his face. Season 1 Epilogue. Over at Wheelme Island, some dude is casually making a phone call while sitting on a pile of unconscious bodies. He chuckles menacingly. "You were a real bastard after all." Great. Another psycho just entered the chat. All the major players are making their moves in the shadows. Detective Na is mobilizing his entire department, while the Pai family's influence is being felt. A secret war is brewing just beneath the surface. And finally, we get a look at the #1 contender for the White Lead throne, Young Hyunji. Just look at that unhinged, maniacal laughter. This guy is bad news. The future of Yusung High just got a whole lot more complicated. After Ms. O's disappearance, a disciplinary hearing is held. Hanwol is there, bruised but defiant as ever. Just as things are wrapping up, a new female teacher walks in. The study group story is far from over. The hearing concludes, and then we see it. Gammon is back on his feet, walking with a new prosthetic leg. The sight of him makes Hanwol's lackeys flinch in fear. Our boy is back, and he's ready for action. When Ms. Lee asks the boys about their injuries, they come up with the most ridiculous excuses. Crashed into a telephone pole, fell down the stairs. The excuses are hilarious. Meanwhile, Gammon, ever the responsible one, asks how the hearing went. These kids are a chaotic but lovable bunch. Hanwol looks shocked when his name is called, while the other study group members wonder how things got resolved so smoothly. It's almost too easy. Someone must have pulled some strings behind the scenes. Even Ms. Lee is suspicious, thinking there has to be a reason for this outcome. But Gammon just tells her not to worry, flashing a confident smile. Seeing his assurance, she decides to trust him, even if she doesn't understand what's happening. In the hallway, Jaiwoo expresses her concern, asking Gammon why he got hurt again. Seeing him all bandaged up and with a prosthetic leg is tough, but we know our boy. He's a fighter, and this will only make him stronger. Hanwol spots Gammon and his crew walking down the hall. The sight of them makes his face flush with anger. His calm demeanor shatters instantly. Oh yeah, the rivalry between these two is far from over. Gammon walks alongside his friends, reaffirming their mission. The reason they're trying to change everything is for us. Their goal to create a safe place to study is a fact that will never change. Their unity is their greatest strength. Meanwhile, Hanwol's father makes a grand public appearance, swarmed by reporters. The narration reminds us that everyone changes. But whether that change is for the better or for the worse is always the question. Because we often change for the worse. The narration gets philosophical, talking about the need for people to know the truth in the letter. That's why they must strive to be better than they were yesterday. It's the core struggle driving all our characters. And with that, Season 1 comes to a close. But as the author says, Gammon's college entrance exam story continues. A heartfelt thank you from the creators promises a return for Season 2. The hype is real. Season 2 will return. The teaser shows a character lamenting how he almost ed my life up, only for Gammon to walk resolutely toward him. Looks like the new season will be all about new challenges and new people to save. A new blue-haired character appears with a smirk, saying, "I ain't bailing you out 'cause you're pretty." Okay, new handsome troublemaker on the scene. Is he a friend or a foe? For the school he loves so much, our boy Gammon continues to fight, even when it seems hopeless. In this school for future criminals, will his efforts ever truly pay off? Is there a grand conspiracy manipulating everything from behind the scenes? Can Gammon and his friends uncover the truth and change the fate of their school? The questions just keep piling up. Season 2, Meteor Bombing. A motorcycle screeches through the night, sparks flying. Gammon, the new blue-haired guy, and Hanwol stand together, ready for what's next. The new season looks like it's going to be even more action-packed and intense. Season 2 premiere. The new season opens with Ms. Lee Hankyong's perspective. She's writing down her experiences at Yusung High, our new narrator for this arc. As a teacher, how will she navigate this chaotic environment? She reminisces about her own graduation, a happy memory, before her thoughts turn to her first impression of Yusung High. She confesses to her friend that, to be really honest, the school she grew to love was abysmal, a place where abnormality was the norm and the students were lost. She never expected a single one of them to want to study. And then she met Gammon, the boy who pleaded, "Please help me study." It was through tutoring Gammon that she learned about his incredible ambition to form a study group in this school of all places. The idea seemed completely insane at the time. A kid who wants to go to university enrolling in this notorious school. It made no sense. But that was where she saw possibility. The possibility of Yusung High changing for the better. And so, she decided to help Gammon achieve his impossible dream. So they put up posters for the study group. And it was then that she learned about the student who was deeply related to the dark side of the school, the one who immediately tore their poster down. That would be Hanwol Pai, leader of the White Lead Gang. He believed the school couldn't change as long as Gammon was in it. He even attacked Ms. Lee on the stairs, a cruel smirk on his face. This guy was bad news from the start. Ms. Lee was ready to get Hanwol expelled, but Gammon started recruiting members for his study group. First up was Sahayan Kim, a boy forced into vocational school by his father, who spent his days drinking his sorrows away. Next was Jaiwoo Lee, a girl sent away after her orphanage closed down. Constant bullying made her timid, so she turned to studying to build her confidence. And lastly, Sunchul Kim, a boy who wanted to study but could have walked down the wrong path due to bad influence. He too ended up joining Gamon's study group, a band of misfits, all brought together by a shared dream. Of course, that process wasn't smooth. They had to fight again and again, using Uncle's forbidden tactics to save their friends. Every new member was earned through blood, sweat, and tears. They had to chase bad people, go through pain, and face off against formidable foes like Taehwanin. Each trial they faced only made them stronger and brought them closer together. Eventually, Gamon stood before the entire school and declared his intention to change it. Time and time again, they had to stand up and fight back. This is the story of the study group, a story of fighting for a dream. There will always be fools who persist in things they're not good at, who choose the harder path. And for those fools, as the old man says, teachers exist. They exist to guide them, even when faced with guns and violence. And along the way, they also had to witness sacrifice. The pain of seeing friends get hurt, the grief of loss. Every sacrifice only strengthened their resolve. Back to the present. The students are gossiping about how Hamilpai managed to resolve last year's student council meeting. Interestingly enough, after he was expelled, nothing happened. The peace is almost unnatural. But interestingly enough, this calm is just the prelude to another storm. New enemies are gathering, and a new battle is about to begin. Gamon had warned Hamel that the school would only get worse after he left. And Hamel had warned Gamon on the day of his speech. The rivalry between these two feels like a fated confrontation, building since day one. When Gamon asks what happened, he's told nothing happened, but the bloody flashbacks and the image of a man strung up from the ceiling tell a different story. Someone is using extreme violence to maintain this fragile peace. Even Ms. Lee can't believe it. Hamilpai attended the student council meeting, caused no trouble, and was simply expelled. It all went way too smoothly. Something is definitely not right here. It seems Yusung High is taking its first step toward change, but Ms. Lee has one lingering concern. Gunyan Park, the son of a high-ranking official from the Board of Education, is a student here. And for some reason, none of the other teachers seem to know. Another secret player enters the game. It appears Gunyan Park is plotting revenge for what happened to Ms. O. When Ms. Lee finds out, she's incredibly worried. She knows that the path of vengeance is a dangerous one. On the streets of Incheon, a high-speed chase is underway. Taehwan and the anti-white lead gang guy is being pursued relentlessly. But as he looks back, he realizes it's not just one person chasing him. It's a whole crew. Suddenly, a car appears out of nowhere and slams into the motorcyclist, sending him flying in a fiery explosion. This chase was a trap from the very beginning. The rider hits the ground hard but gets back up, introducing himself. Yusung Hai, Gunyep Park. Meanwhile, Taehwan is injured by the shattered car window, cursing his attacker. A new fight has officially begun. Gunyep lunges and grabs Taehwan, saying coldly, "Got you." The clash between these two new power players, right outside the gates of Yusung High, is on. Season 2 is starting with an absolute bang. At a bridge, Hamel thinks back to Ms. O. He feels a sense of gratitude and is reminded of his own mother. He recalls throwing away something she gave him, a memory filled with guilt that he's carried ever since. His subordinate apologizes to Gunyop for failing to protect him. Now, Gunyop is being held down by a man in a cap, who demands to know who's responsible. Gunyop's rage-filled scream is directed at one person, Antai, "You bastard." Hamel finds Hankyong and asks her a startling question. He then hands her an envelope, the very same one from before. This letter seems to be the key to unlocking all the mysteries. Inside the envelope is a list of names. Hamel explains that these are people significant to his father, a list of key figures in his criminal empire. He gives the list to Hankyong because he discovered something crucial. On the night before Ms. O disappeared, she met with his father. This bombshell revelation leaves Hankyong completely stunned. Hankyong asks if Gamon is on the list, but Hamel just smirks. He doesn't know that you exist. He's implying that she, Hankyong, is the unknown variable, the one person his father hasn't accounted for. Hamel lays out the cold, hard truth. Now that she knows it was his father who killed her mother, she'll want revenge. But she can't defeat a huge gang alone. The only way, he suggests, is to get as close to him as she can. Just when I thought things were working out, life threw in another problem. Hamel announces his intention to join the White Lead Gang. What? This sudden twist leaves everyone completely speechless. On a dark street, one of the White Lead Gang's cars is found wrecked. It's clearly been sabotaged. It looks like someone is making a direct move against the gang. And the likely culprit is the #1 contender for the gang's leadership, Young Hyun-ji. With a dangerous glint in his eye, he muses about bad things coming all at once. The troubles for Yusung High are just getting started. Meanwhile, a new day dawns. As the train clatters on, we cut to a different school where the students are already buzzing about a club exchange event. Everything seems normal, but we all know trouble is just around the corner. Back at Yusung High, our crew is getting ready for the big event. Look at them, trying to look all official holding the school flag, but they're just clowning around as usual. Even the teacher's telling them to get serious. But of course, it wouldn't be Yusung High without some drama. The kids are already bickering. One of them asks, "Are you embarrassed of our school?" And the honest answer is, "Yeah, can't say I'm not." The self-awareness is real. Suddenly, something catches the girls' attention. They gasp and look over there. A huge cloud of dust, with a whole mob of people running like their lives depend on it. What in the world is going on? And it seems the exchange has already started. This red-haired dude is at the center of it all, but before he can even react, BM, a flying June Lee kick straight out of a movie. Someone gets absolutely wrecked. So much for a friendly meetup. Meanwhile, another confrontation is brewing. This random dude has the nerve to walk up to our orange-haired girl and ask, "Why do you hang out with losers?" Oh, big mistake. She doesn't even waste words, just BM. A nasty low kick sends him flying. And she's not done. He tries to get up, but she grabs him, and whoosh. A perfect real-world judo throw. He gets absolutely slammed into the ground. Look at that smug smile. She's a certified beast. But his friend, this blonde guy, steps up. He's trying to act tough. You feel proud beating up someone with one arm? Bad move, dude. She clenches her fist, tiger's fist, and sends him flying with one clean punch. The aftermath is brutal. The guy's face is a bloody mess from a tiger claw attack. And look who it is. It's our boy Sunchul Choi. He looks totally unfazed, saying one hit is more than enough. The chaos is contagious. This bald dude gets pissed off by someone whispering and just lashes out. But before his punch can land, BM, someone else clocks him right in the face. And the one who landed the punch is Sahayan. He follows up with another brutal hit. The girls are going wild. Wow, Sahayan, you're amazing. The fangirling is real. Meanwhile, some other poor guy is trembling in fear. This is way too much for him. So who are these powerhouses? We get a quick intro to Hee-won Choi and the top-ranked student, Sahayan Kim. The other school students are finally putting two and two together. Yusung High? Shit, that's the gangster school from Incheon. Yep, you messed with the wrong crew. And just like that, the whole Yusung crew is assembled, flag and all. The other students are on the ground, totally defeated. Our guys are just casually chatting like nothing happened. Total power move. Just then, who should appear but Hankyong? She's completely surprised to see them. Our boys try to play it cool, acting like they're just taking a walk by the river. Yeah, right. The awkwardness is hilarious. As they're about to leave, they realize someone's missing. Wait, where's Gammon? Turns out, our boy stayed up, late studying and overslept. We see him packed like a sardine on the bus, but he's on his way. So, the crew sends Gammon the address, Manhwa High School. They're all heading there for the club exchange. The flag is still causing a scene, of course. They're definitely making an entrance. Missing frame, skipping narration. Missing frame, skipping narration. Meanwhile, at Manhwa High, we see what a real top school looks like. Study groups everywhere, students totally focused, covering every subject imaginable. This place is the real deal. The students here are casually talking about college admissions, mentioning how their school sends 300 kids to Sky universities every year. That's Korea's Ivy League. The Yusung kids are just stunned into silence. You can see it in their eyes. Hearing that number has lit a fire under them. They're motivated. But amidst all this, we see Hanwol, still injured, walking alone. He's clearly got a lot on his mind, especially with the big exam coming up. Just then, Mr. Park, the teacher, brings someone over to meet the study group. These are the kids from Yusung High I was telling you about. The person he's talking to looks absolutely shocked. The reputation precedes them, I guess. Missing frame, skipping narration. But little do they know, there's trouble brewing inside this prestigious school. We see a pair of broken glasses on the floor. A huge, muscular dude is cornering someone, questioning why he'd even come to school during break. This doesn't look like a study session. And the situation is way worse than we thought. They're straight up bullying this kid, hitting him with a credit card and mocking him. They're literally using their fellow students as their wallets. This is just disgusting. It gets even more brutal. They're beating him senseless, threatening his mom, all while laughing about how he's too scared to actually call the police. This is hard to watch. So, their plan is to hold him hostage until his mom unfreezes his credit card. While they wait, the other bullies are just chilling, smoking by the window. They've clearly done this before. Meanwhile, the study group is still waiting for our boy. What's taking Gammon so long? They're looking at the old school building, completely unaware of the horror show happening inside. And right on cue, Gammon finally arrives, limping slightly, but here at last. One of the bullies spots him from the window. Who's that bastard? But Gammon, our pure, sweet, study-obsessed boy, has no idea. He's just looking at the school, totally pumped. I'm so excited. Oh, Gammon, you have no clue what you're walking into.